last meal.
Is the Rushmore Show, where it's all about your top four and nothing more. Well, guys, we are back. Thanksgiving is over. I hope you enjoyed all the turkey, the stuffing, and the cranberry sauce.
Drive around, get some sauce. Drive around, man. Sauce.
But now is the time to kind of swing it all back together. It's the month of November, and we're welcoming back our favorite host, Andy. Andy, what is up? How is Argentina?
I'm back.
There.
I made it back.
You're
And
my
I
boy,
am-
Blue.
I am in a prison right now, but I'm not in Argentina. I promise you that. That is
Yes.
not what this is. No, there's a purpose behind this. We'll share in a minute, man. I'm excited to be back. Amari, Dylan, great job last week. Let's just look. Hats off to you guys. Fantastic job. Brought the king of the hot takes in, and Dylan a back-to-back Jack week, man.
And Trout gets into one toward left center field. Austin Jackson going back. That is gone. Back-to-back Jacks by Cole Calhoun and Mike Trout.
Back-to-back Jacks.
Love it. So
Man,
I'm
so Andy,
excited about it.
you got to watch the Rushmore Show in Argentina. How did that go? How was Argentina? How was the food? We're talking about food. How was the faith? How was the family? How's everything going on?
And they love football there. But Speaking
of football, I think they just lost.
Yikes.
Saudi.
Yeah. And we've been all about Argentina. No, man, it was great. Argentina was fantastic. Spent a week out there between Buenos Aires and Tucumán. Planted a church there. They actually just did baptisms at the end of the 7-day kind of campaign revival service they were doing. They had 18 baptisms that happened. New believers. Dude, it was a blur. It was so much, but man, God did some pretty cool stuff. So it was just a great time. And then, like you said, ate a lot of good food, man. They know. Let me tell you this: if you ever been to Argentina,
I was there last week.
Yeah, right. If you plan to go there, I'm a Louisiana boy. Kirk, you're a Louisiana boy. There's some similarities between Louisiana and Argentina. And
spice.
He who controls the spice controls the universe.
No, not the spice, but just the amount of food that they eat.
Oh, okay.
Surprisingly, Argentina, they don't do spice. They don't. It's just not a thing. But they do empanadas, which essentially is a meat pie. I ate so many of those.
I like apple empanadas.
From McDonald's,
Yeah.
With a little slice
Taco
of
Bells.
yeah. So no, great time, great food, great faith, family. I mean, it was like they hug all the time. That's how they greet you.
Tell me, what was the goal of the mission trip? Like, you went down there, you were going to meet with our good buddies, the Padillas.
Yeah.
What a great family that is. They're planting churches and stuff down there. They came and hung back out, got on staff after they were down in Salta for a little bit, then went back. And now you guys are going down to help them do what?
We're planning a church right now is what's happening. Actually, Journey bought the lot of land this week while we were there. So we raised money, we sent money out there and bought the lot of land. So now they have a space where they can actually plant a physical church. Now, we didn't have that. We had the tent while we were out there. We did church service there every night. But the goal and the plan moving forward is to lay some concrete there, be able to actually plant a church in the middle of this poverty-stricken area of Tucumán. Man, even in all that poverty, to see the faith of these people and just how amazing it was. It was fantastic. So,
Well,
that's really the goal. That's what we went out there to do, to preach and to plant a church.
I mean, first off, let me just say I'm so proud of you and the Journey team, just to see where this thing's going full circle and really going out and helping folks out there. if you guys been following the Rushmore Show long enough, you realize that both Andy and I and many of our guests, I mean, probably at least half of them are either pastors or leaders in the church. And so this is just a fun way for us to get together. Now, look, I heard a story. You guys are in the airport, and one of our friends, one of our great pastors, was getting snatched up and maybe getting caught in an Argentine prison. We were worried. We have to do a little prison break. We have to do a little, figure out how to get out of there and see a little episode on Discovery Channel or something. I just made it. Right. So what happened? What were y'all smuggling? What was going on?
Well, yeah. So, you get into those situations and automatically it's worst case scenario. You don't speak any Spanish or hardly any, and they don't speak hardly any English. And it's just, worst case scenario. So anyway, one of our team members gets pulled. It's called over the intercom in the airport in Buenos Aires as we're on our way to Tucumán, and has to get a bag searched, the checked bag search. Well, come to find out, we had some batteries for some different things that we were doing on the church plant. We had some hairspray because we were doing that for like kids, and nail polish remover. Those are the big nail polish remover. That's a big no. So in case which it made it there, it made it to Argentina. This was not our first flight, so pretty crazy. But yeah, so
you can't smuggle nail polish out of the country.
Right, okay. Right. That's exactly what it is. So that's our PSA.
So find out more. Take a bite out of crime.
For this week, that we're doing our good deed. If you're going,
you didn't end up having to go and rescue anyone. Y'all all got back together, took the flight back home. It worked all out. But that is a good segue to what we're doing today. So look, friends, if you haven't checked out already, we started off this month of November talking about food. We just had our big get together with our family and friends for Thanksgiving, Friendsgiving. You guys did over at Journey, Andy. And look, it's just been a great week to kind of sit back, reflect on all the gratefulness and all the thankfulness that we've done. Now, with that being said, this is the last ride.
No, don't do this. Enough is enough. What? Look out! Oh, my. Right down in the tech area.
This is the last meal. This is the last supper. There you go. And so with that being said, we thought, hey, since it's the last one for the month, and we just still want to keep doing food, what if we did, what would be your Rushmore of last meals? I have pulled up some of the greatest last meals ever, and we're going to start off. I mean, these are crazy, Andy. Like, some of them are really funny. The number one guy named Oscar Ray Bolin, he apparently ordered a ribeye steak, cooked medium rare, baked potato, both butter and sour cream, salad, cucumbers, topped with garlic bread, and a bottle of Coca-Cola. See, when I heard last meals, I didn't know they go this far. I mean, like, this dude just ordered a whole spread. But the best one is this. This is the one I found that I thought was pretty funny. Number 3 on the list. According to some newspaper, he ordered 2 chicken fried steaks, fried okra, bacon cheeseburger, triple meat with 3 fajitas, a pound of barbecue, and an entire meat lover's pizza, pint of ice cream, and for the finale, he ordered a slab of peanut butter fudge with crushed peanuts. Dude, that sounds phenomenal. But here's the best part. The dude didn't even eat it.
You serious?
He didn't even
Is that the reason? Is that the reason in Texas? Was that the one in Texas where they don't do the last?
Apparently they stopped doing last meals in Texas. Now, Andy, I think you looked up a really important one. What was Abe Lincoln's?
Oh gosh.
Hey, Lincoln.
Hey. Did you say Abe Lincoln? No, I say Abe Lincoln. I said, hey, Blinken.
What was Abe Lincoln's last meal? Now, he wasn't on death row, but they can tell what his last meal was. But he's number 2 on the Rushmore. Let's see where he went.
Yeah, so Abe Lincoln, his last meal is pretty interesting. Now, again, not on death row. This just is what is, I guess, believed to have been the meal he ate before that one fateful night. He ate what was called mock turtle soup, which in Louisiana we like turtle soup, right? Mock turtle soup, roast Virginia fowl with chestnut stuffing, right? So it sounds like
he's roasting over an open fire.
He's rocking
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
Thanksgiving dinner, he's got the stuffing, baked yams. You guys talked about yams last week, right? And then apparently Lincoln was conscious of his health because he went cauliflower with cheese sauce. All right, but here's an interesting one. The last one that I want to share is this. In 1992, Arkansas convict Ricky Ray Rector, which was he a wrestler? What was he? Because that
sounds like a NASCAR driver.
Ricky Ray
Rector taking the lead.
Top ropes. And anyway, Ricky Ray Rector, 1992, Arkansas convict. He had brain damage from shooting himself in the head after killing a police officer. So he was on death row, right? He ate a final meal, and this was his final meal. It was steak, fried chicken, and cherry Kool-Aid. But famously, now here's where it gets fun. He said he wanted to save his pecan pie, Amari.
Pecan
pie.
Are you eating pecan pie or pecan pie? Yeah, the American Pecan Council thinks they have the answer. In a poll with more than 340,000 Americans, pecan won with more than 50% of the vote.
It's not pecan.
Yeah. He wanted to save it.
He wanted to save his pecan pie for later. I think that's the quote that was said. You got to appreciate this guy who, with brain damage, now he's a horrible person, obviously, killed somebody, but to have the wherewithal to say, I'm going to save this for later.
Yeah, we're going to save this one for later.
Well,
here's the thing. He still had hope.
Yeah, he thought he believed until the end that he'd have that.
Oh, man. So here's the deal. It's time to get into the show. And we are going to do we're right there from prison. We are going to give you our Rushmore of last meals.
Come on. All right, Rushmore Show. Here we go, man. I miss you guys so much. 1 week on, and it just feels good to talk to you guys again. But look, we are going to get into our Rushmore today. Very excited, talking about last meals. But like we always do, we're bringing on some guests, hosts with us. We have a very extra special one today who is sitting right beside you, Kirk. Kirk, who is with us on the Rushmore Show today to talk about last meals?
Nice. Well, everybody out there in Rushmore land, this is my middle daughter, Carson.
What's up, Carson?
She's been wanting to come on and hang out with us. And Carson has decided to jump on and tell us what her last meal is. Now, the funny thing is, as I was thinking about this, I was like, man, you picked last meal. I mean, it's like one of a parent's worst nightmares would be to have their kid in prison. And so now we're talking about what her potential last meal would be, right?
Right.
But with that being said, we are we're going to push the issue and see what her last meal is. What do you think? This Rushmore and how we were going to have a last meal. What kind of made you kind of pick some of the picks that you did?
Okay, so I tried to choose things that meant something to me because when I was on death row, I gotta think about what I would eat. I gotta think about all my memories. So I would choose stuff that's more memorable.
Okay.
Thank you. Great.
Okay. So I think that's kind of where we're going to go today. I think that's where we're going to be visiting. Now, our first one, I know you've seen the show. You've probably watched the show more than anybody out here. You've seen her in the comments.
Carson is a dominator in the comment section. She probably comments every week. So I
comments down in the comment. All right. So Carson, we're going to start with our Rosie.
Okay.
That's our first one. So you're going to tell the audience here what your number 4 is and then tell them why. So death row, Warden's coming up. You got to make the order. What's your first one?
Okay. My Rosie is a big bowl of Captain Crunch cereal.
Thank you.
I got my siap and sriraches.
I love it.
Let's go. Why would you pick Captain Crunch cereal?
Okay, I'm not always a big fan of Captain Crunch, but if I'm on death row, I don't have forever to eat it, so it won't get soggy, which is what I hate about it. So, like, it's good. And cereal. What's not to love about cereal?
Absolutely.
Cereal. What's the memories that it comes with cereal?
Me and you's late night snacks.
Oh, let's go. Dude, I'm going to be honest, Andy. We kind of talked about you're going to go with some nostalgia things, and I had a feeling that this one may. Once I saw her list, because now it's in front of me, so I'm like, oh, that one might make it a little further. Might make it on yours. Could even make it on mine. I'm just thinking, cereal is a staple, and I'm going to be honest. I am marking this one off. It was my number 5. So this is a Benny for me. So I'm scratching that one off. And it was definitely there for me because it is by far the Saturday morning. It's the late night snack. When I was in high school, it became how I cooked, right? And so for me, I love this pick. I really was thinking about a bowl of cereal. It was number 5 on my list of crazy things. Of all the things I can pick, a bowl of cereal is just chef's kiss, right?
Now, Carson, question. You finish all the Captain Crunch out of that bowl. Where's that milk going?
Down my throat.
Okay, thank you. Okay, you got to have the whole thing. You guys know how I feel about Captain Crunch. If you go back to the cereal episode, it's my George. It is the best cereal of all time. It's fantastic. I don't need to say much more. It's just, I love that pick. So awesome.
So good. All right, Andy, you've been gone a week, man. And you've had extra days to prepare for this one. I know you have a great list ready. Warden is knocking on the thing is the Billy Club is ding 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 coming down the lane, about ready to escort you down death row, right?
Very somber feeling right now, but much like what you said, Carson, my criteria becomes not just that these are the 4 best foods. It's not going to be that necessarily, although I love them. But if we were to do a Rushmore of top 4 foods, these 4 are probably not making it. Maybe one of them. But when I think of last meal, I think of, okay, I'm in the worst possible scenario. I know it's about to end. I need something to make me feel good, like something to bring back memories, something that I can reminisce. So it's much more than just the food. It's just the emotions that come along with it. Also, I think about like somehow they would have to get these because I went really, really, really specific to me in memories. I didn't just say Captain Crunch, or I didn't just say this. I was a very specific. So I'll tell you a little bit of story behind each one of the meals that I share with you today too. So for those that know me, breakfast food is probably my all-time favorite of foods. And I thought about cheating and just saying a breakfast buffet, but I didn't do it. I'm going to pick a specific, and I'm not going to pick one that many people are going to think of. I'll tell you now, it's not cereal. I'll tell you right now, it's not just like bacon. It's not something like that. I'm going to go back and I'm going to request somehow for my dad to come to prison with me and to cook up some of his breakfast burritos. Now, breakfast burritos from my dad. I love breakfast burritos, but there is a fond memory waking up early. Now, my dad would get up and leave before we went to school. He worked a good ways away and got up super early. But I remember waking up early with my dad to watch Sports Center in the morning. And it was Sports Center with Stuart Scott. Stuart Scott was on there. Rich Eisen. That was kind of the 1-2 right there. And he would be up early and he'd be making these little breakfast burritos. And look, let me tell you, I just said, these are not the best foods. If you were to put this in the competition of breakfast burritos, it's probably not going to win, but it's nostalgia for me. He would chop up some sausage, not breakfast sausage. Now, this was like smoked sausage that he would chop up, fine, small little cubes, and then he would saute that, and they'd get little crispy bits of sausage that are in there. He'd put some eggs, some scrambled eggs on there that he cooked in the sausage grease. He'd put jalapenos on it and some cheese and roll that thing up, and you'd eat one or two of those and you'd be good to go for the day. I love them so much. It brings back so many memories. Baseball month, I talked about, I was an Angels fan. I used to wake up early, watch SportsCenter highlights. I'm talking way back to 2002 when the Angels won the World Series. Like this was what I did for breakfast. And it would bring me some kind of sense of normalcy, some sense of comfort, some sense of peace, right, that I would have. And I love these things. What else?
Dude, I love that pick. I love the idea of hanging out with your dad. And that is, that's a big one for me because I love my pop. And
you said too, we talked about this breakfast. You don't like breakfast sausage. So what's important about these is it's not breakfast sausage. It is like an andouille, like a smoked.
So I don't mind breakfast sausage, but if I have the option between other proteins like bacon, right? I'm going to forever choose bacon. Now, I have a funny story. This morning, Andy, I went and took my test for my teaching certificate, and I stop at McDonald's, right? I'm at Mickey D's. I'm going to get breakfast. I want to get something in me before I go. And I decide to get a bacon, egg, and cheese McGriddle meal. And I was like, you know what? I'm feeling frisky. I'm going to order an extra McGriddle, and I'm going to tell them to get me a sausage one. I want to do the comparison, right? And I drive off, and I open the first one, bacon, egg, and cheese. Boom. Finish that bad boy off. I go to open the second one, ready to hit that sausage up, and they knew exactly what to do. They made me 2 bacon, egg, and cheese.
They messed it up, man.
They hooked me up, man. They hooked me up. They're like, dude, you don't want the sausage.
We know what you want.
We know what you want. And actually, I was a little upset. I was like, the whole point of me doing that. But I got two bacon. So
did you order a countdown Coke?
Not 5, not 4, not 3, 2, or 1. A Coke 0. And yes, I did. Yes, I did. Well, look, man.
There you go. Breakfast burrito.
Breakfast burritos. Gosh, I love breakfast burritos. So give me the ingredients here: egg, sausage, cheese,
and jalapenos.
Okay.
He would chop. This is important. He would chop the jalapenos up about the same size as the sausage chunks. So it was like a consistent, like just one,
like a sausage log type situation. Now, did you dip it in a salsa, sour cream, or something?
No, not really. You could. We just eat the burritos.
It's my turn, man. I love all this nostalgia. You know me, it's one of my buzzwords. Nostalgia is kind of my favorite thing to talk about or even think about. And I just love everything childhood. I love everything about that. And I am kind of going to stay there with all of my picks. Now, all of my picks are not necessarily childhood, but they are going to bring me right back somewhere. Now, I will say this. I kind of cheated. It's my top 4, but I didn't. I'm going to have to kind of cheat just to get the story down. And then I'm going to tell you what in that portion, what I'm pulling out to be my actual Rushmore. So
you're pulling an M. Night Shyamalan. You're throwing
a little switcheroo, a little bait and switch. So if you come back and watch this a second time, you'll know exactly where I'm going. Spoiler. Right. So here's the deal. Go right back to my first year, basically, of out of the house, being my own person, having to order food. I went to the military, and then I came back, and I was taking care of my mom. My dad moved out, was living with my stepmom. I basically had the house to myself, and I was making military pay, so I was getting paid. I didn't really have too many bills, and I wasn't necessarily the greatest cook at the time, which I can get my way around the oven nowadays. But back then, it was all about takeout and all those things. We talked about it back in fast food quite a bit. I ordered pizza basically every 2 or 3 days, and I would order enough to make it to the next time I had to order. So there was always leftover pizza in my refrigerator, which to me, reheated pizza is the best. So with that being said, I would always order from Papa John's. Now, this was on my Rushmore back in pizza days. I think it was my link. I think it was my link. I don't think it was my George, because George was Dante's. I think this was my link, but the nostalgia factor here. I would order a family deal. Now, in that family deal would be a everything pizza. And then the second pizza, you can get up to a couple different toppings. And I would order a ham and bacon and pepperoni pizza. So I'd have 2 large pizzas. Those are the 2. And then I would get a 2 liter of Coke at the time, I think was the go-to, and an order of cheesy breadsticks. Now, the reason that this is important is because almost immediately after that Joker showed up, I think my best friend Rudy and all the guys had Papa John's and my phone on some kind of like ham radio, like whatever. Kirk's ordering pizza, and they'd all show up at my house, right? Because the plan was to have that thing for 3 days, and it usually would only make it the night, because I would sit there and hang out with all my buddies and eat pizza. Now for me, the Rosie of that is that 3-meat pizza. That 3-meat pizza with the garlic sauce is it brings me every single time I have Papa John's. That sweet sauce with the garlic sauce brings me right back to 20-year-old me, friends showing up, watching a game, playing video games, whatever we were about to do, get into trouble. I'm going Rosie, bacon, pepperoni, and ham, large Papa John's pizza. Boom.
The meat sweats. The meat sweats.
Oh, where's the beef?
Well, there's no beef. You had all pork. A pork pizza. Pork
man, it was phenomenal. But man, it's all about those times with those guys. Those guys all stood in my.
Let me just for a minute here, because I love this pick. I think I want it right now. There are snobs. Let's just address it. There are pizza snobs out there. Now, listen, I just got back from Argentina. Surprisingly, you know what's really big in Argentina? Pizza. There's a big Italian influence there. And there's pizza places. And I had some of the best pizza of my life while I was out there. It was crazy. But there are snobs who are out there who are like, oh, if it's blah, blah, like whatever. There's people like, oh, if it's blah, blah, like whatever. There's people like Amari who says, oh, pineapple can't go on pizza. Blah, blah. Like, sorry, Amari, I'm picking on you. Look, I know you supported my Rushmore last week. I just got to do it. But my point is that let's not hate on what's just good. Like, can we just eat this pizza and just be like, man, this is freaking good? Like, I'm not saying it's the greatest pizza in the world. You're probably not saying, like, if you were to put it in a competition with like authentic Italian margarita pizzas that it's going to win. It won't. But it's better for you. You like it. And I love it, man.
And I know that you love pizza.
I love me some
I know you love pizza. I mean, she's had her fair share of pizza. Pizza's one of your favorite foods. I'd be shocked if it's not on your somewhere. But yeah. So what do you think about pizza?
Pizza is 10 out of 10. And all those pizza haters, get out my face.
Yeah.
Get out my face, bro.
Talk to him, Carson. Talk to him.
Out of my face. Get out.
Talk
to the hand.
Also in Argentina, a funny story here that the pizza place we went to, they have like sections of pizza, and one section of pizza is mayonnaise pizza.
Are you serious, my brother?
Where there's mayonnaise is the right. We didn't order it. Mayonnaise is the base, but it's like mayonnaise, corn, and octopus. I'm not even kidding. Like
and Omari's complaining about pineapple.
People order this stuff anyway.
Wow.
We didn't order that one.
We are moving into TJ Jazzy Jeff. You're up, and I know you've got another banger ready for this.
Okay. My TJ Jazzy Jeff is very hits home. Mom and dad both will make this a lot, but it's gumbo and cornbread. That is like, but only if it's Jiffy cornbread, like boxed Jiffy cornbread. And there's be a lot of okra in the gumbo. Like, oh my gosh.
It's so good.
You gonna eat your cornbread?
Hey, girl, you gonna eat your cornbread?
Don't say nothing. You talking to me?
Yeah, great pick. So, question: chicken and sausage, seafood. What we thinking? Where are you going?
Okay, so I'm not a big seafood person. I don't really like shrimp. I'm not a big fan of like lobster and crab. So chicken and sausage and like boudin are my main go-to meats in my gumbo.
Respectable.
Yeah,
I do love
like
seafood, but chicken and
sausage, chicken is probably her go-to. Now that cornbread that she's talking about is more like cake. So if you've never had this is how we make it. It's Jiffy. You know, you take a box or two of that Jiffy cornbread, and we add into, on top of the ingredients that makes it, we add into it honey and about, I don't know, this much sugar, however much we keep pouring until it tastes right. So just keep mixing. Yep, that sounds good. It doesn't bake the same way. It does fall apart a little bit because of the extras, but it's magnifique. This is another one of those chef's kiss, man.
I am a big fan of crumbling my cornbread in to either my red beans or to my gumbo. So if it crumbles, it doesn't come out in a slice. Doesn't really matter.
Yeah. The only problem with this, if you don't make it right, it caves in and it collapses, and it ends up being crumbles. But it is so good.
To kind of go back to last week, I think it was Amari. Did Amari pick cornbread, or maybe Dylan did? One of them did. We were talking about cornbread, and my wife and I were watching the episode, and we're like, cornbread has to either be sweet, or I've had it like with jalapenos and spicy, like that.
Right.
Those,
Amari said he didn't eat nothing on the
corn flavored bread. I don't want just corn bread.
No.
Who wants that? Get that out of here.
Yeah. I never understood cornbread that's just plain.
Just the box mix. That's it. Nothing.
Like we mashed the corn up and we mixed it. I don't even know what you mix it with because I always jiffy it. So
So a lot of okra. Thank you for saying that too, because to me gumbo has to have okra, because actually the word gumbo means okra, is actually the African word for okra. So it has to go. To me, it has to.
Yeah, I always thought it meant the kitchen sink, and I think we talked about it last time when we had Mike Sanders on the show. I thought it was the kitchen sink, but that is just the term. Everything but the kitchen sink goes in the gumbo. Now, dude, I'm a huge fan. My dad's a huge fan. This is one of the things that keeps us connected to New Orleans. Is what's really cool is I wish I knew how to make my own roux and sit there and stir it like my grandma did. But when every single time we go back home, we bring back Zatarans or Gumbo. What's her name? Gumbo Girl or Gumbo Lady, whatever the heck her name is.
It's from like Rouse's.
We'll bring some of those boxes back, that kind of instant roux, and you can make a gumbo. I mean, matter of fact, I had gumbo yesterday. So
ratios, rice to gumbo. Where are you at? Where are you standing?
So you talked about it. What are you at?
Okay. I have like a weird mix. So I feel like sometimes I got to be in a mood to have more rice than gumbo. Right. I feel like the gumbo, it's like spaghetti in the sauce. The sauce has to overpower the spaghetti. So the gumbo has to overpower the rice. It cannot be too dry. Like, you know.
So I'll be honest. Last night, no rice was done. No rice was hurt in the making of this gumbo. I only had a little bit of gumbo left, and we didn't have any rice, and I just ate it like a soup. I am always on more side of the gumbo. I need rice just for the extra texture. If it gets too much, I don't feel like it's a gumbo. I feel like it's like a rice dinner. Now, what about potato salad?
I see. I've never grown.
We talked about that with Pastor Doug, I think, right? Yeah.
I know it's a thing. People are going to be watching this who are not from Louisiana. Like, what the heck is that?
I know. And yeah, gumbo. Great pick. Now, Andy, where are you headed with your TJ Jazzy Jeff?
Yeah. So again, not going to be the most glamorous picks, but again, it's just things for me, nostalgia that just work, and I want this. So I didn't even mention this earlier. Every one of these picks is some family member's version of something. So it's something I've had in my family, either growing up or I'm now having still, anything like that. So TJ, Jazzy, Jeff. My family loves food. My family loves cooking. We love having gatherings with a lot of the family members, and it's always involving food. Somebody cooking it all, or a potluck, or whatever. Food is always involved. Thanksgiving season, we love this and everything. My mom's dish is this one that I'm going to talk about, and there's a lot of them that I could pick, and I probably picked what's going to seem like the most boring one, but it is. I have dreams of this. This is a staple. I'm like, Mom, you have to make this. It has to be here because I need this. And what it is it's my mom's pasta salad. Now, let me explain it, okay? You're like, oh, pasta salad. Why? How white can you be, Andy? Yes, I am. I know it, right? It's very simple. It's macaroni noodles. That like mayonnaise really is what it is, essentially. Finely diced red onions, peas, bacon, and cubes of yellow cheese. That's it. That's all it is. You're like, what? Why didn't you just pick ice cubes, Andy? No, listen. It's so refreshing. It's cold. So it's a cold pasta salad. It's a cold pasta salad. Pausing it. Right.
Offense on the white guy. The penalties decline. The result of the play is marked down.
Throwing a flag.
Refreshing
It
is not a word that I would use for a pasta salad.
It is so good, man. It's like when you have everything that's so heavy and it's hot in Louisiana, and you've got this ice cold pasta salad dish. Bro, I'm eating bowls full of this stuff. I know. And here's the thing, it's nostalgia to me. I crave this. I crave this so much. And it's just one of those excellent, fantastic.
You were going so good with the breakfast burrito, just like
I know. See, I'm gonna disappoint people, and that's okay.
No, I love pasta salad. I know she didn't like pasta salad. I do love a good pasta salad.
I'll eat the whole bowl.
Dude, one of my favorites, and again, this is my mom, she didn't cook nothing from scratch. We've addressed it. If you want to know more about it, go visit last week and the week before and the week before. But my mom used to buy pasta like helper things, like whatever.
Yeah.
And there's a pasta salad that is made with bacon and ranch, bro.
There's one that we have from, I think the brand is called Suddenly Salad.
Yes, it's probably that
bacon and ranch one, and it's got the little bits of like carrots and things in it. Bro, it's so crazy good. We eat it. We add a few things to it, but we doctor
now,
it up.
I'll tell you this. Nothing is more depressing than showing up to a gathering and someone like, dude, you gotta have my pasta salad, or go eat so-and-so's pasta salad. And I go over there to eat it, and it's underwhelming. And I'm like, like,
But I have to eat this.
Like they put like something weird in it, like cucumbers or something. I'm like, nah, I'm good. But pasta salad, okay. I mean, the nostalgia,
not the olive oil, not the olive oil. Yeah. So
I've got some coming that absolutely, like the meme. No one, Kirk.
This is no one. No one is going to crush more with this.
No, no one. 0 people is going to crush on one of mine.
I just don't understand pasta salad. Like, if you're gonna have noodles, have some like sauce. Like it's literally just vegetables and noodles. Like, and it's cold. It's not even
cold. It's cold. And it's
hot take here. A lot of
that's why it's refreshing. It's cold.
It's gross.
There's a lot of pasta dishes. I say a lot. There's a few pasta dishes that I like to eat cold. Pasta salads have to be cold, but I'm gonna throw you guys for a loop, and people are gonna be like, what? When I get leftover Chinese food, that lo mein does not get reheated. Cold lo mein, I don't know. It's crazy. I love it.
I don't hate you for that one. I don't hate you for that one.
Such a picky eater. I don't even like Chinese food.
Yeah. Well. Look, we're gonna roll into mine now. My last three. Well, I mean, they're all near and dear to my heart. So it was really hard to kind of put them in order. But I'm going to go with another one that is a family member, if you will, kind of like what you're saying. And I'm going to go with the classic. Let me just bring you into the Plaisance family. Circa 1991, 92, 93, 88, whatever. It's Christmas time, right? Christmas is around the corner. And everybody shows up at my house Christmas Eve about probably at about 3 or 4 o'clock. The kids are antsy. We cannot open a single gift till everybody makes it there. When's so-and-so getting there? When's so-and-so getting there? And look, we're all worried about when Aunt Bobby's going to make it because she's got her set of presents, and when's Aunt Robin going to make it because their set of presents and all that. And I was always, now rest in peace to my grandma Gladys. We called her Happy Bottom, Glad, but yeah, Happy Bottom. Yeah, so we call her that. And then so my grandmother, and look, I apologize, Grandma, rest in peace, but she should have made my Rushmore back in like episode 3 or 4 for this. And I'm just going to pay it back right here. I'm going to pay it back right here. When Grandma showed up, she brought a 10. And in that 10 was gold. And you had to be the first one to get there, because once you got there, you had the 10. It was like Indiana Jones. You were trying to switch off with the weight to the 10. And this is not like National Lampoon's Vacation with, you wrap the Jello mold or the cat. Right?
She wrapped up her damn cat.
Right? None of that. You're getting this amazing tin of food, and then you go and hide it from everyone because they are going to want it. This was the goal, and it was none other than my grandmother's peanut butter fudge.
Come on, I knew peanut butter had to get on there.
My Jesus, yes.
You've got one left.
Peanut butter fudge. It's phenomenal. I've tried to remake it. My sisters have tried to remake it. I do know it uses lots of peanut butter, lots of sugar, and lots of that mellow cream, that Stay Puff or whatever it is, that jet puff, right? Mellow cream. And I just know it uses that, and none of us have been able to make it exactly the way Grandma has made it. And it is just phenomenal. I mean, just, oh God, what I would do to taste that right now. I mean, not to mention Grandma would have to, hang out a little bit extra time. But man, it's just, you go to Buc-ee's, they have peanut butter fudge, and it's just not the same. You go to all these big fudgeries, it's just not the same. It's good.
What's the closest that you've been able to get to it? I know it's probably far.
Probably using our recipe and trying to make it happen. I mean, we've probably come pretty close. My sister's probably done it the best. But yeah, I have to 3 on the mountain. I could have easily had this number 1. Grandma Gladys is peanut butter fudge. Now, here's the thing. Carson was only 1 or 2, right? When probably the last time Grandma made this. So I don't even know if you've actually really had this, but you have had some peanut butter fudge.
I'm not a big fan of fudge.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of fudge, but dude, this.
No pasta salad, no fudge, no Chinese food.
I'm a really picky eater.
I'm also going to say this, and I've been thinking about this, Andy, and we talked about this back in barbecue and whatever. I want to round up all of the Rushmore of recipes that we have.
Yeah.
Right? I'm going to get Grandma's fudge. Last week, Dylan, I need your mom's mac and cheese if you're going to hand that over.
She's a new fan of the show,
which is a new fan. Carolyn, hey, and welcome. Sarah, the sister. Welcome to the show. Now, but you go back, we have the sweet tea from Pastor Doug and all the other things that we've done. My wife's bread pudding, which was on the show last week as a Benny. And so we're going to put all those together. So we'll see if we can't put some recipes together for everybody. Andrew, we are finished with our first half of the mountain. I think
Halfway
it's
there,
time that we probably check out a commercial.
Oh.
Well, welcome back, Rushmore Show. Now that we've had a little commercial break, I heard that last week our commercial was the best thing that has ever happened on the Rushmore Show. I don't even know where that thing came from. I don't even remember seeing that commercial when I was a kid, but
still
it was
confused.
well worth it, man. That can of ocean spray.
Still confused about what happened. So, yeah, crazy. Anyway.
Carson, we're now at the second half of the mountain. We are moving into Link. And maybe some fowl. Did Lincoln ate fowl? And what else did he have?
He had turtle soup.
Mock turtle soup. Is that where you're going?
Yams.
Not even close.
Hey,
cauliflower with cheese.
Did you say Abe Lincoln?
So, where are we going, Carson? With this, I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm seeing a little visual aid. I'm excited where we're going.
Okay, so most of y'all can figure out. Pretty picky eater. I don't like many things. Not a hot dog person. Mustard, pickles. I don't like any of that.
I agree there. I'm good on that.
I don't like any of that. So I'm also really young too. So some of y'all's weird foods I'm not very keen on. So I gotta go back to the classics. And when I was little, I would eat lunch. I would after school. This was my go-to. And it is the true PB&J's.
I love it. PB&J.
Peanut butter and jelly.
They are. Oh, and there has to be more jelly than peanut butter.
See, this is where I was going to go. Like, so this is where we don't see eye to eye. Right. She is all about that J.
I am a big jelly person. Like
Okay, now question.
This big.
I've never
What's
seen.
The go-to? What's the go-to jelly?
Straw. Oh no, grape.
Oh yeah, thank you. Grape jelly, grape jelly. Good.
But
job.
I've never. I mean, Andy, Rushmore Show. I have literally never seen someone put as much jelly on a sandwich.
Okay, but the trick is, what you do is you take all that peanut butter,
you make a
tower,
a bowl.
So basically, you take your bread and you get like 3 big scoops of this, and you just slap it right on there. You don't even spread it. Okay, just hear me out. Then you gotta take a separate piece. You take all that jelly and you don't even spread it. You just glob it right on there. It's like a big mountain. And because the peanut butter, you can't flip the jelly or else it just goes everywhere.
See, I am so
you
opposite.
Just quickly flip it and you don't even press it down. It'll be pressed down in your mouth. And it gets everywhere. But
she is not kidding.
Good.
I've watched her make this and go, what are you doing?
Now, here's the thing. Now, this might be part of the reason why this doesn't work. And Kirk, you know this. So much jelly in the beard that's going to spill out. It just feels miserable. I got to take a shower after I eat.
So I have it everywhere after.
So I am. It's got to go from corner to corner peanut butter, and it needs to be about 3 to 4 times thicker from the corner to corner jelly. That's me. You're a little half and half, aren't you?
I'm a 50-50 equal opportunity, 50-50.
About 75-25, but they both have to go corner to corner. Spread them.
I'm like
Now, if I'm gonna do one more than the other, I need more peanut butter than jelly. So I do agree there. But I like to go about 50-50.
jelly for the win. You want that thing everywhere.
Now, what's your favorite kind of bread?
Oh, okay. So I used to love white bread. I'm more of a wheat person now because
Honey wheat, huh?
oh yeah, and it cannot be the butt. If you give me the butt, I'm throwing that thing out and grabbing a new piece.
The end piece.
I'm not like don't do that. It's terrible.
I can't get down on the peanut butter or jelly on wheat. It has to be white bread to me. But if you're gonna, I guess honey wheat.
I wish,
honey
but
wheat,
well, here's
not
the
right.
one thing, man. We don't have bunny here. We need some bunny bread. We need some good bunny bread. That might be the next thing that you need to bring up here when you come up and visit. Just some good bunny bread. All right. So, Andy, Link.
So I had to, for the sake of my marriage, and also because I love the cooking, I had to put one of my wife's foods on here. But in all honesty, no, it's because it's so good. In fact, we have a staff Christmas party that's coming up that they decided to do like Mexican food theme or whatever. And this is not necessarily Mexican.
For Christmas?
Yeah. Journey's crazy, man. We do some
Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad.
So my wife signed up for this dish, and we make this pretty often at the house. And my link is my wife's carnitas. So if you don't know what carnitas are, it's roasted pork with like different like Mexican kind of spices and stuff with some orange juice and some limes and some onions and all that stuff. It's cooked down. We get a big roast. I feel like a man because I get to slice it up like a butcher, which was a secret desire of me to work at a butcher. I don't know why. I feel like it's the manly man who does that. Anyway, but I get to slice that thing up, throw it all in the pot, and then you boil it down forever with all these herbs and spices and everything that's going on. And then you take it out once it's cooked. You put it on this flat tray and you smash them down a little bit, and it's still got like fat on it too. And then you broil it, and so it gets crispy on the top. That fat, so it's like soft and crispy at the same time.
So good.
And then you can do whatever with them. So we've done them on nachos, we've done them in tacos, we've just eaten just the meat by itself. Really doesn't matter. But carnitas, man, it's so good. It's not the most expensive cut of meat that you have to buy because you're cooking it down for so long. So it's kind of a tough piece of meat, but once you cook it down for that long, super tender, falls apart. And the carnitas, if death row, right? I want to have a dish that my wife makes, and she makes a lot of really good ones. I'm gonna go for the carnitas for sure.
Okay. Quick question. I'm this type of person, like I like that. So like those memes where it's like no one and then Carson. I'm like the person who's like, oh my gosh, I love Mexican food. Literally only eats on taco nights. Yeah. Okay.
So authentic.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, I love Mexican food. I only eat a quesadilla with cheese.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So, question: What type of meat are you on your quesadillas? Are you like the ground beef? Are you the pork? Are you the chicken? Or are you
steak? Steak. Give me steak. Steak quesadillas.
Nice.
For sure.
So here's the thing.
If I could do these carnitas, so it's pork. So I would do carnitas on there.
I mean, since we're out here no wanting, right? So I'm ready to strap my seatbelt on, right? We're about to lose a few followers, Andy.
Oh gosh.
But
I know where you're going.
It is a hot take.
I know what you're saying.
Mexican food is not probably even on my Rushmore. Like as a type of food.
Offense on the wide guy. The penalties decline. The result of the play is fourth down.
I actually do love Mexican food. I love it. It does not love me. It doesn't love me. And I would prefer, I know you guys are going to hate me. I would prefer Taco Bell or Taco Tico before any like actual Mexican authentic
I agree with that.
restaurant, right? So that's first thing. Second thing.
Offense on the wide guy. The penalties decline. The result of the play is fourth down.
So that's first thing. Second thing is My oldest daughter, which you'll probably meet down the road, she's going to be on the show, I'm sure, soon. My oldest daughter, her favorite food in the world is tacos. And for years, we had tacos, not just on Tuesday, but probably sometimes 2 or 3 times a week. And to me, a taco is the French fry. It's the side of Mexican food. Why? Because I love Taco Bell, and I go to get a Mexican pizza, you get a taco with it. I go to get a quesadilla, I get a taco with it. Like, to me, tacos are not a main course.
Offense on the wide guy. The penalties decline. The result of the play is fourth down.
Carnitas, though, are really good. I love carnitas. I was just mentioning earlier with the breakfast burrito, right? I love chimichangas. I love Mexican food. It's just not my preference. I would much rather go have a burger than any day of the week. And Carson's team, man, all the time, they want to go get Mexican
every single tournament. I'm like, yo, I cannot do that.
And I'm like, gosh, we have a whole tournament to sit out here and let that
and it's hot
Mexican pico de gallo and all the other jam just marinate.
Also, I'm not a big person. Like, I don't like fajitas. I don't like empanadas. I don't like that type of stuff. So I'm like,
offense on the wide guy. The penalties decline. The result of the play is fourth down.
So I'm like, why would I
Wait, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Let me just say this. I think 90% of what she says she don't like is she don't like to try new things. So some of those foods she probably would like if she tried them. She's like,
fajitas. Now, when you order fajitas too, there's this cool like envy that you get from the other people at the restaurant.
The
sizzle platter. Everyone's looking at you. I was like, man, I should have ordered that.
Yeah, so carnitas, man. I here's the crazy thing. We've hung out a long time. I don't know if I've ever had these.
I feel like Courtney's made it for us.
Maybe have we had those? Have we had those? Maybe once.
I think we have. I think we
maybe
have.
I think maybe one time when we came. I don't know, but maybe we have to have them again. We have to have them again. All right. Well, Andy, thanks for doing that and picking your wife, because I'm not picking anything for my wife.
Offense on the wide guy. The penalties decline. The result of the play is fourth down.
And I know she's
sorry. But you did last week, though. You did last week.
Here's the thing. My favorite food in the world, probably right now, currently, is something my wife makes. Right? It's something my wife makes, and it's on my Benjamins. So, with that being said, I'm going nostalgic, right? Nostalgic. This next one, though, is something that not only do I enjoy with my wife, but I enjoy with my kids, and I even enjoy it with you and your family. And I'm going with none other than Texas Roadhouse.
Yes.
Listen, we're going to Texas Roadhouse, and what me and my wife do, this is it. We go in. Here's the secret. Here's the secret to success. You go in and you go to the little meat section and you say, what is the biggest cut of ribeye that we can get without the bone in? Because I love the bone in. Look, bone in, it makes it better. But if you take the bone out, I'm not paying for the bone, right? I just want to pay for all meat. And what we do is we split that thing, and it becomes out cheaper by us buying one large steak, having it cooked right, and cutting that thing. Now, with that being said, we get baked potato, and we usually get the green beans, and of course the rolls. But none other on my mountain is going to be none other than that medium rare cut of ribeye steak. And I personally get the mushrooms and onions on the side, right? Just so that I can have a little bit of that with a piece of meat every once in a while. That to me is perfect. Not just because it is a great steak. It's not the best steak. I get it. It's not like a young steak or anything like that. But for a franchise, it's one of the best steaks. The size and the price and everything, but add in all of the memories of every single time that I've gone there with my family and your family and every other time. It is by far one of my favorite things. Going with my link, a big old 20+ ounce steak.
Love it. Texas Roadhouse is an American establishment. It is just beautiful place. The rolls, everything you talked about. Chef's kiss. It's so
Chef's
good.
kiss all over. I want to see the Warden.
My kids love Texas Roadhouse. I mean, it's you're gonna go there and you're gonna enjoy it.
Oh yeah.
Is it gonna be the greatest meal of your life? No, that's probably better. But you're always gonna love it. Every time you go there, it's just that good. It's so good. So, man, great pick.
And medium rare. Medium rare. Now, here's the thing. If you go back and look at my show last week, I used to get it not just well done, like burnt. Like I got it burnt. Look, fun story, and I didn't mention this last week. I go to hang out with Brittany and Honey. It's one of our first dates. I'm going over to her house. Honey's husband Chuck is cooking steaks, and Brittany's like, "Hey, he wants this steak on there really early." And they're like, "What do you mean really early?" It's like, put that joker on soon, right? Because if they put it on soon, then by the time theirs is done, mine would be done. They'd be all done together, right? And I'm talking, that thing was like this, like it is jarred, right? And that's just how I ate them back in the day. And I, obviously with barbecue sauce and A1 and all that, because I was a very immature steak eater, individual. Right? And they introduced me to the ways of the Force, the old wise one. And then one day,
I'm glad you've been saved.
Brittany brought me, it might have been even Texas Roadhouse. I don't even know where it was. Brought me to somewhere and was like, "Listen, I just want you to try it." Now, because of this experience, I have now basically, I'll try anything once. Like if it's edible, it's food, somebody else is eating it. Now, I'm not going to be the one that's like, "Hey, let's try this," and nobody else is eating it, right? You know, like, yeah, I've eaten some weird stuff, but I will at least try it once, because for years I've always was anti whatever, and then my eyes opened up to what was really out there. And yeah, hockey pucks no more. Medium rare. I'll even take it rare. Like medium to rare, in between there. Like as long as it's not more than medium, I'm good.
I love it. I love it. And a good steak, man.
All right, man. Well, Rushmore Show. We are at the George, the G-Dub. We are here to finish off the mountain. Last meal. Warden is here. Here comes the main course. This is probably the big deal. This is the big chief. Where are you going with this one?
Okay. So, I got a lot of people in my family, right? Y'all know, Playground's fairly pretty big. So we got a lot of things to celebrate. And where's the most family-friendly restaurant that's like really good? Texas Roadhouse.
Rushmore. Well, Rushmore on the location. But what do you get?
Okay. So
what do you want from Texas?
I just graduated from mom ordering my meals.
We remember all the times we had together.
Congratulations, Carson. Growing up right before our eyes.
Yeah.
So I'm still new to like ordering my own meals. So I don't do like all that. I want the biggest one without the bone and all that stuff. I can't do that. So I don't get like the little meat ice freezer thing that's like on display. I order at the actual table like a normal person.
A normal person.
And they're like, "What do you want?" And I'm like, I want like the little fillet thing, because that's the only thing that I actually know.
Which is the graduation from the snake bites.
Yeah, because that's the only thing that I actually know what that means.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
like,
so you normally get an 8-ounce fillet.
Yeah, I don't know what a sirloin is. I don't know what a ribeye is, and I don't know
just where it's at on the cow, where they're cutting it.
And I also don't know the difference between well, rare, medium. I don't know that, so I just say red.
Or red, pink.
Well, then you're good. Then you're good.
Yeah. She gets it. She gets it medium.
But I also don't like barbecue sauce.
Thank you.
I only like barbecue sauce from McDonald's. So I'm not a barbecue sauce person, so I don't dip it in anything.
Which is good.
But like I just like this may sound weird, but like the blood coming off, like whatever that is.
Which is not really blood, by the way.
No, it's protein. Yeah, it's not
whatever that little like stuff coming off, I dip it in that like a couple times, and then the ultimate thing, you cannot eat steak without this. It's like the holy grail, a baked potato, but it has to be loaded with no jalapenos though, and no sour cream. It has to have chives, cheese, and bacon. And I haven't graduated from sister cutting it up, so I can't really cut it up.
Baby steps. Baby steps.
Going steak and potatoes.
Yes.
Steak and potatoes. Steak and potatoes.
Okay, so two things. I applaud your steak choice. For you to have graduated right through the steak sauce stage, that's not everyone does that. So
I mean, it took me a long time to get away from the hockey puck.
I don't like any steak sauce. I'm not a steak sauce
I'm
guy.
not a steak sauce person.
You know what though? I like Worcestershire and I like A1, but not on steak. On other things like burgers and
yeah, that's fine. That's okay.
I'm not a big fan of A1, but Worcestershire is really good with like burgers, stuff like that. I'm good.
Dale's. Dale's.
Oh my gosh, Dale's is so good.
So you know this, Kirk. I'm not a big sauce guy. I'm not big on the sauce.
Dry rub.
But great pick. I will say this though, that baked potato has got to have some sour cream all up on it, man.
But like there's
love
some
it.
sour creams that are like like the Great Value.
Right out of the jar.
Well, like the Great Value stuff that you get from
That
like
just
Walmart,
gave me the chills.
it's really like there's a lot of flavor, and I know that sounds so dumb, but like yeah, it's just like white stuff, but like it's a lot of flavor. But like okay, Texas Roadhouse, I gotta be in a mood to have sour cream because their sour cream isn't bad. But like Great Value sour cream, I don't put that stuff with anything. I'm like, why are we getting this? What are we gonna use that for?
All sour cream.
I see where you're going there.
Their ranch.
Oh, their ranch
is one of the best that's out there in the game right now.
Yeah, they're winning that game.
I got a little bone to pick though with them.
Click, click, boom!
Boom!
They recently took off their like loaded potato skins. They recently took that off.
Really?
And I'm about to go like sign a petition or something to take.
Those are pretty dope.
Because they were so
Those
good.
are pretty dope.
Like the appetizer?
Last time we went to
Yeah.
Texas Roadhouse, they were like,
At least
we
the
don't
one here in
have
Georgia,
those.
they don't have them anymore.
We
so.
don't have those anymore. And I was like, what?
We were there this week and they have them. So that's a Georgia thing.
Sorry about that. We got Coke Zero. You guys got the.
I would much rather have Coke Zero at McDonald's.
Y'all are closer to Texas. That's why. Like they just didn't.
Yeah.
All right, man. Andy, Crushmore here with the Roadhouse. Where are you going with your George? I can absolutely guarantee my George is unequivocally going to be the only person not picking it. So where are you going with yours?
Same thing for me. Let me give you a little bit of this. I've already said that all of my picks are family delicacies, right? Things that they cook that at different gatherings, different events, things like that. I want to show you a little bit. I love. So I don't have the food here, depressingly, and you'll know why in just a minute. But I think I've shared this before. One of my first desires as far as a career goes was to be a chef because my family is full of chefs, like some really like actually professional chefs and some who are they're just amazing at it. They just home cooks. They just do, that's just what they do. And one of them is she's actually she's my mom's cousin. So like second cousin, you know how that stuff works.
Is this like Omari? You forgot her name?
This is Charlotte. This is her. She has her own cookbook and it kind of fades in and out, but it's like a legit, like she worked with Emeril Lagasse. She was a sous chef for Emeril Lagasse at his restaurant in New York. She's back here at home. She's got this book. This book was put out forever ago. This was actually given to us as a wedding gift. So it's signed in here from her. So Charlotte is awesome. She always cooks amazing stuff when we go out there. But probably my most prized possession as far as a cookbook for my family goes, and this is not a professionally put together one, but my my family put together a cookbook of all the greatest recipes of my great grandmother. She's the matriarch of the family. She lived to 100. And what I'm gonna pick is I'm gonna pick one of her recipes, but I want to show you this first. So this is her. It's kind of hard to tell that. This is an older picture of her kind of picking stuff out of the garden and stuff. and they put this whole little folder together that's got all of her classics and her recipes, and then also some different lanyap ones that are not.
I just saw a Rushmore recipe in there. I just saw one.
I know, right? All right. So out of all of this, here's your table of contents. You can see all of the recipes that are listed in here. I mean, it's a lot of them, right? I had to pick one. There's by far the best one, and I'm going to go with my great-grandmother's shrimp patties. Now, let me tell you about these things. Okay, if you've ever had crab cakes and all that kind of stuff, that's all great and everything. My great-grandmother would make these things, these shrimp patties, and it was essentially like that. It was like a little cake thing of chopped up shrimp, some different herbs and spices and stuff, fried those things up, and you just have these little patties, these shrimp patties. Every now and then, sometimes there would be like a sauce on it, or you just eat it like chips. Like you just grab one, and keep grabbing them, and they're just so good. This is one of the, again, I showed you all of the recipes that were in here. If I had to pick one that was probably her most famous, the one that she made that I enjoyed the most, it was going to be the shrimp patties. It was so hard for me. I actually even was talking to my wife before this, and I'm like, you know what? I might put 4 of Mama's picks as my top 4, because I mean, I could have easily done that. But these things so good. She would make them forever. Like I said, she lived until she was 100. So we had the privilege of having these for quite some time and having access to all of her cooking and everything. But there's nothing that beats these. They're just quintessentially Southern, Italian, Cajun cooking. Now, my great-grandmother, she spoke kind of like French and Italian, like these different mix and all this kind of stuff. She would talk.
My grandma did too.
And then there would be times where she's talking and you have no idea what she's saying. But
say les bon temps roulés.
Laissez les bon temps rouler. Let the good time roll.
You're like, yeah, Mama, yeah. She was a woman of faith. She read her Bible every day. Matriarch of the family. She did a lot of holding this family together. A lot of this side of the family, Catholic. You know, being in Louisiana legally, you have to be Catholic for at least 30 days, right? So they did that. But you know, she held the family together. She had 11 or 12 kids of her own, which is now like, I mean, our family's massive. It's just huge. And we would always have these gatherings, and at every gathering, it's like, I've got to have these shrimp patties. My dad obsessed with them.
So wait, tell me about these shrimp patties. Now, you said they're like chips, or are they tiny?
No. I say chips. I meant like you just grab them, like you just keep eating them. No, I mean, it's like a normal size, like a crab cake size.
It's a crab cake size, kind of like a burger patty?
Yeah, but they're not. See, some people make shrimp patties or different things like that, and they mince up this shrimp to this paste, and it's good. These were like rough chopped shrimp, so like there's chunks of shrimp within your shrimp patty.
Now, is it breaded?
Yeah. So it would be very lightly, not like deep fry it like that or whatever, but it would have a light breading coating around it. Spicy. My family, the one thing that was going to happen is food was going to have some seasoning in it for sure. So, in fact, I mentioned she cooked for a long time. One of the last things she cooked for everybody towards the end of her life, 2 things. I'll tell 2 real quick stories. She made spaghetti for everyone, and you know, you could freeze spaghetti pretty well, the sauce and stuff, and just take it home and, you know, heat it up as you need it. Well, we got some from her and we heated up one night. My wife and I were going to eat dinner. It's like, Mama spaghetti. It's just one of the ones I could have picked. She must have forgotten. She must have put cups of red pepper instead of like teaspoons, because that sucker, I think I'm still feeling it. Like, it was so hot. It's like, you know, when it's so hot, you just can't even eat it. Like I can't do anything.
And your mouth was all ready for Mama's spaghetti. And it was
and it didn't work out. The other story, real quick, is one of the gatherings we had. Another one she would make is bread pudding. Oh, but what's special about her bread pudding, and I think I've shared this story.
Oh, the rum sauce. We talked about this, and
she would make a rum sauce or like a whiskey sauce sometimes. And you know, when you make those sauces, you cook them down. All the alcohol is evaporated. It's really just kind of a little bit of flavoring in that. And I've been alcohol free for 6-7 years or so now. So this was during that time. So within the last 6 or 7 years, she made this. And Mom must have forgot to cook down the sauce this time because I feel like she just like twisted the top and like, and it was just, I took a bite and it's like, like fell out of the chit like that. Dude, it
was like that cranberry commercial.
Yeah, it was time for a nap. I'm just telling you. No, it was good. But all of that, joking, kidding aside, her cooking was some of the best. I remember growing up, going to her house in Belle Chase, and for breakfast in the morning, we didn't have pancakes and bacon and stuff. We literally had gumbo, or we had shrimp patties, or we had this, and it's not leftovers. She made it. Like, she would get up early and start cooking food. Like, that's just what she did. Love her. My oldest, her middle name is Angelina, which is a nod to her as well. That was her middle name as well. So we love her. Matriarch of the family, Mama Melda Lachute.
Sounds great. And I know you don't like shrimp, so you probably wouldn't.
I know.
But this is one of those times, Andy, that I would like to have that and want you to try this, because that sounds phenomenal, and that is something that sounds life-changing. It sounds like
we can cook it. We can cook it.
So it reminds me of just a side story. Many of you guys know that for a little bit of time in my life, I took care of people that were either mentally or physically impaired in the Slidell and Lacombe area. And when I got saved, and Brittany was working through our separation, I actually was doing that. And I used to take care of a guy named Gary. Gary was in a wheelchair, and Gary just was awesome. He was one of the people that actually encouraged me to be a pastor. And I would go and pick Gary up in the morning, get him dressed, showered. We'd go get his dry cleaning or whatever, and we'd always come back. And Gary would eat lunch. He would eat food one time a day, and it was lunch. He would not eat dinner. He would not eat breakfast. He only ate lunch. And being in a wheelchair, whatever, I guess, those things all work differently. And rest in peace. A year and a half ago, he passed away, and he was told he was not even going to see adulthood, and he died, I think, 57, 56.
Wow.
Really awesome. But his mother, Miss Velma reminds me of your grandma. She has more Southern recipes. Like, the first time I ever had a soft shell crab sandwich, homemade, like not something I went to like check in, check out and got, right? Somebody actually caught that and cooked it, right? Like, yeah, I mean, he would cook up the roadkill for real. Like, I mean, one day I came over and she had hunks of turtle in her sink, and I was like, whoa, what you got going on here? And they caught the turtle out in the freaking bayou behind them and was cooking up a snapper. Dude, anyways, they had some crab cakes that she would make. And dude, if that was lunchtime, I was in heaven. I was so in heaven. I love them dang things. But anyways.
Last thing I want to say, which is a really cool thing. I tried to find, we have a cookbook somewhere. It's actually an Emerald Lagasse cookbook. He put out a cookbook years ago, kind of geared towards kids. And it said, "There's a chef in my family." That was the name of the cookbook. There's a chef, or there's a cook in my family. And it was like different kids would write in with their family recipes, and he would highlight certain ones. And I guess through the connection with my second cousin, Charlotte, he invited my great grandmother to come and do the photo shoot. And one of her recipes is in that cookbook. And there's a picture of Emerald hugging her, like, showing.
So we now have somebody that's with Paul Prudhomme on our show.
Yeah.
And you're telling me that we have lineage to someone who's been with Emerald? I mean, look.
Bam. Yeah. So
now all we need is Guy on the show, and man, or Bobby Filet.
Yeah. So anyway, love it.
All right. So look, I'm going to end up the show, man, and I'm going to end it up as I always do about this time. Yeah. So here it is. I am going to do something, and I was kind of thinking when I was going to do this, if I was going to be able to hold it together, to be honest. Right. And I'm going to pick something that is just dear to me. And I haven't had this since I was a little boy. And it is terrible. I'm just be honest. It's terrible. Nobody's going to want this on your mountain. There's a main reason I'm picking this. But when I was a kid, my dad, he worked shift work. And so he would do morning shifts sometimes, he would do afternoon shifts, he would do graveyard shifts. And there was nothing better than when he worked graveyard shift. And when I went to bed, he wasn't home. And when I woke up, he was there in the morning. And he was sitting there drinking a cup of coffee. And my dad's coffee of choice, because we didn't own a coffee pot, was Taster's Choice ground instant coffee. Like pour the powder in, hot kettle, mix with some sugar, obviously, and probably whatever the Albertson brand non-dairy powder creamer in it. Sounds totally ridiculous. And it was, and I've actually drank coffee like this since then, very similar, and I love it. My wife thinks I'm crazy, but what he would do, he would make buttered toast and he'd cut it in strips. And I'd wake up and get ready for school or whatever, and I'd come in and he would dip the whole thing into his coffee and eat it. And to me, this is my childhood. And I would walk up, and it was the only time I've ever had coffee in my life. It was loaded with butter and bread, and it was just coffee flavored bread, to be honest. And it sounds so ridiculous, but it is. I was like, gosh, when I'm thinking nostalgia and something that I want to have a memory of, I want to go back to 9-year-old me, realizing dad's home from work and he's there. I got a funny story. My mom, we didn't have a coffee pot, and my mom, my dad got like employee of the year at his work, employee of the year and whatever. And he got to choose between a coffee pot and a crock pot. This is a true story. When my dad passed away, we were all sat around his bed, all me and my sisters, and kind of just sitting on the floor in the hospital, just kind of reminiscing. My dad won either a coffee pot or a crock pot. My dad, because we already had a couple crock pots, chose the coffee pot, and he brought it home. And for one day, my dad had a coffee pot because my mother made him bring it back and get the crock pot.
Oh my gosh.
Because the coffee pot was only for him and the crock pot was for everybody. And that's just who he was, man. And if you know me, that's me, like he's the greatest person I've ever met. And what I would do to have 5 seconds to sit down at a kitchen table and eat the crappiest cup of coffee with a buttered toast would be just phenomenal. Yeah. So that's going to be my George, man. That's going to be my George.
Yeah. Well, you took it. It was one of my Benjamins, so I'll have to scratch that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I miss that guy a lot, man.
Yeah.
I know you guys aren't going to want that, but that is going to be my George. That's how I'm going to end it a little sad, I guess. But man, we talked about nostalgia. Now here's the funny thing, man. It's last meal. So ideally, hopefully, there's a paradise after this and we go and visit and we hang out with all those people we're nostalgizing about, right? Mama or my dad or my grandma Gladys or whoever it is. And so man, hopefully all those dreams do come true. So anyway, but good news is we're not going to prison. We're pretty good folks, hopefully. And
got let off the hook.
We're not done. And I wonder if Benjamin Franklin was ever in prison. We're going to go and do some bennies. Bennies. Now, let's start this thing off and finish our honorable mentions and head out with a great show. All right, Rushmore Show. It is time for our Benjamins. And man, just like that, I asked the question, and Andy, you did a little pop-up video and you found out what is going on with Benjamin Franklin in prisons.
Johnny on the spot over here. So I just typed it into Google, which, everything's true that's on there. So I'm just going to read this to you. Did you know that the modern prison system was actually created in Benjamin Franklin's living room? Now, let me read this. I mean, just a portion of this. Maybe I'll link this little article.
Link it.
In our description. It says this: at a salon hosted by Benjamin Franklin, a pamphlet was read calling for the construction of a, quote, house of repentance, in which solitude could work to soothe the minds of criminals, an enlightened alternative, the group believed, to inhumane public punishments like the gallows, the pillory, the stocks, the whipping post, or the wheelbarrow. In 1787, a group of Philadelphians, many of who belonged to the Philadelphia Society for Alleviating the Miseries of Public Prisons, again, that whole public humiliation thing, gathered in Benjamin Franklin's living room. And more than 30 years later, the ideas discussed that day led to the creation of Eastern State Penitentiary, widely considered one of the first modern prisons.
And now you know.
And knowing is half the battle.
I thought that's super interesting to know that
really
that
cool.
was a
That's
thing.
really
So that, Benjamin, speaking of Benjamin, we're going to talk about some things that didn't make the cut.
Didn't make the cut.
Kind of like how we've been doing it.
Franklin. Carson's going to take the first pick. I'm going pick number 2. You got third pick in the snake draft. We'll wrap that thing all the way around. We can't crush. No crushes. So we only had really one Rushmore at Texas Roadhouse, and it kind of really wasn't. It was still steak. So I guess so. And so only one Rushmore for the trip. And we're going to roll here. We cannot have any matches. So you're going to lead off, and we're going to bring this thing around. All right.
Okay. Number 1 is a bag of spinach with salt.
Oh, dude.
What?
Yes. Dude, she's not lying.
I love spinach. I'm surprised. When I was looking over my Rushmores, I was like, I don't know. Man.
I can't believe it wasn't on her George.
That's the stuff they give you in prison that you don't get to choose, right?
She wants a bag of spinach.
Like the one you want
with just butter and salt. That's all.
Wow.
That's it.
Okay.
All right, my turn. Now, look, I told you I had to kick my wife out of the Rushmore because of the really nasty coffee. But here we go. I'm going with none other than my wife's fried pork chops smothered with gravy.
Had those. Very good pick.
Boom. Now it's 2 picks to you.
All right. So I did not, when I eat food, I have to have a drink nearby. I have to, or I won't eat. Like if I'm at a restaurant and I need a refill, I'll stop eating until I get a refill. It's a weird thing. I don't know why. So with that said, I'm going to pick a drink. And also remember, last meal, I ain't worried about health. I ain't worried about my figure. Not that I'm worried about it right now, but I'm definitely not on death row, right? And I'm going to pick probably the most sugary, artificially colored soda in the world. And maybe I'll shock you here, but I'm going to go for Barks Red Cream Soda.
Oh!
Barks Red Cream Soda.
I thought you were going to go with something like Surge, man.
It was there. But Barks Red Cream Soda. I worked at a restaurant where we had it on tap and we hardly ever had customers. I drank so much Barks Red Cream Soda. It's insane. Anyway, so that's one of my Benjamins. Now I'll get my next one. My favorite restaurant of all time, period, hands down. Lick the letter, seal it, mail it. It doesn't matter. It's gone. This is it. It will forever be my favorite restaurant of all time. Is a Cuban restaurant. It used to be in Slidell. It's actually coming back to Slidell, called K Rico. And they have a tamale plate. So they're Cuban tamales. It's white rice, a tamale, which is just like the corn masa, a scoop of roasted pork, some onions, some pickled cabbage, some black beans, and some plantains. Give me that, and I will die happy. K Rico's tamale platter.
All right. Dude, those sound great. And I do love red cream soda. I love that you went with Barks and not Big Shot. Or Big Red.
I'm not a monster.
Or Big Red Francisco, right? I had some Big Red the other day at Buc-ee's.
I'm not a monster.
Not what I remember. Anyways, I'm going with this is not a shocker. I've mentioned this. Gosh, this is probably the 5th time it's going to make the show. You ready?
I'm ready for it.
Bluebell homemade ice cream, vanilla smothered with Reese's peanut butter cups.
What?
Boom.
Yeah, good pick.
That reminds me of childhood, melting the peanut butter all over the vanilla. Your turn, Carson. You're up.
Okay. Mine. So, is Andy mentioned this earlier, but it's my dad's French toast.
What the French toast?
What the French toast?
Yes.
He makes the best French toast ever.
It's very good.
Yeah.
I do have a little thing for French toast. Got my little recipe. I'll put that recipe in the Rushmore recipes. All right, go ahead.
Okay. And then my other one, I recently just tried this since we moved to Georgia.
She literally just had this last weekend.
Yo, it is holy grail. And Dad thinks I'm crazy. And me and my mom have like bonded over how much we love these. And it's the Bojangles biscuits. So it's like a Southern food chain. We don't have many in Louisiana, but it is
None
so
that I know of.
good. Oh my gosh. So
what she's saying is she just wants the biscuit.
No. You have to have the Southern filet chicken.
Oh, okay. So she actually picked one because they do get a box of biscuits. Yeah. So she's going with the chicken biscuit, Southern filet on the biscuit. The biscuits are good.
Yes, sir.
They are really good. I think they've cornered a market, right? They cornered a market of something that somebody's not doing. Like if McDonald's wanted to do this with theirs, they would think I think it would roll. Yeah. But to me, Andy, have you had Bojangles?
Once, and it was okay. It wasn't bad.
To me, their biscuits are very reminiscent of Happy's. Do you remember Happy's biscuits? Anyways, I'm gonna go with my number 3, and yeah, this one is an easy one for me. I almost put it in our mountain. I am going to go with a heaping pot of boiled crawfish.
Oh, okay.
And all the fixings.
Solid.
Yep. Heaping pot of boiled crawfish all over the table. All over.
I'm very glad.
That brings me right to Easter with the family and friends and all the get-togethers. I'm going none other than crawfish, all the fixings, sausage, corn, all that. All in it.
Good pick. All right, I got my last two. My last two here. I am glad because I didn't have to eliminate any Benjamins. I did it, and with no problem. I'm gonna go with the ones that I make, chicken wings. So good. I got to give me some wings. I use this dry rub because I like dry rub. I use olive oil, and then there's this. It's called Meat Church, right? Meat Church, and I think it's called like the Holy Gospel or something. It's so good. It's crazy. It's like sweet but also hot. It's really good. So I'm gonna go with that. Wings, and I'm gonna, any of the wings. I'm cool with drums and flats. If I had to pick, I guess flats, but we like them both. They're equal opportunity. My final one, I haven't had a sweet yet. I haven't had one sweet. I mean, unless you count my red cream soda as my sweet. But for my dessert, banana pudding. Give me a big old bowl of banana pudding, and I am in my happy place. Love it. Love it. Kirk, where are you ending it?
Dude, I got nervous. Well, I knew you weren't going there, but I still get nervous because this is the George. Literally the George. I'm going with none other than a box of George's Glaze donuts. George's Glaze donuts. Dude, it's the best donuts around. I had my ice cream. I've had my donuts. Boom. There's my 2 sweets.
Love it.
How are you finishing this thing off there, sweetie?
Oh, gosh. Okay.
You get one more pick. Is it?
I know. Okay. My last. Okay. This is how we're going to end it. So, how we're going to end it is with the infamous, the Chili's molten lava cake that we get. Oh my gosh. It's so good.
I'm curious how spinach and salt made its way into this meal. You have molten lava cake. You have a chicken biscuit.
Wait, let me be honest. She literally will eat just for dinner a bag, not like a bag, like the big bag with Popeyes on it, like Popeye, like the freaking Popeye the Sailor Man. She'll eat just like it all cooks down and basically just eats a whole saucepan of spinach for dinner.
I love spinach.
I like spinach, but I don't know.
Wouldn't eat it for dinner. Anyway, hey, look, everybody has their own Rushmore. This is a perfect example of that. But these have been great mountains, man. And isn't it great to know that we don't have to worry about our last meal right now, right? This was all hypothetical. So, but it was fun. It's been good fun. Any final thoughts here, Kirk?
Well, this is the last show of November. All of our Food Rushmores are out. We're not going to do another set of Food Rushmores for quite a bit of time, but we do have some amazing Rushmores along the way. If you've been paying attention the last few weeks, I've been really building up the hype. Retro Rewind is coming on next week for Christmas specials. We are filming with those guys this weekend. I am so excited. But here's the thing. Also, I want you guys to go check out their show because we're going to be on their show, the Retro Rewind podcast, doing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer
Rudolph, baby.
For them. And so we're going to be on them. We're doing like a double filming. And so Francisco, Paul, you guys, man, welcome to the fam. I'm so glad you've welcomed us in. Next, right after that, we are bringing on Randy. If you follow if you follow Randy Dandy online, he is all about just being amazing to people. He was back in our summer episode, and now he's coming back to do Christmas music. And I'm sure he's got some oldies bangers ready.
I'm so looking forward to it.
I cannot wait. And then, like I said before, we're bringing on Andy's twin. Now, literally, in our fantasy football league, Andy's name is Ben Schmaltz, ? Ben's name is Andy Ricketts, ? Those two are trending to play each other in the championship, unless I have something to do with it. But yeah, dude, it's going to be a great time. We've got a great message that's going to be on the gift of Christmas. So we're going to talk about Rushmore presents. We're going to talk about Jesus Christ. We're gonna bring the gospel a little bit. This has been a great episode, and then we're gonna finish the year. Guys, share in the comments. Look on the social media. We're gonna have some posts coming up soon. Tell us who your favorites along the way. We have literally done almost a year's worth of Rushmores, which is crazy. We are almost at the anniversary of the pilot. The anniversary of the pilot, which was Christmas movies, we did, I believe, on December 21st. We are less than a month away from our anniversary of our first viewing. But man, it has been a wild ride, Andy. So much fun. Carson, so excited that you've finally been on here. She's been in the comments all the way. Check her out. She's really just balling with softball and now basketball. So you can follow her on her social media too, right? And Andy, how are you? How are we going to finish this thing off? Like, you got anything else you want to share with the Rushmore community?
I'm glad to be back. I love Argentina, but I'm glad to be back here with you guys. And it's just been a blast. Looking forward to wrapping up this year and all of the awesome, exciting things that come next year. But in the meantime, we're going to end the show just like we always do by saying this. And real quick, you stole this from me last week because I wasn't here, but you did a great job. We'll work on the delivery. But anyway, let's end it like we always do. This is the Rushmore Show, where it's all about your top four
and nothing more.
Peace.
And we need to kill this dog.
Oh my! I've been hearing it this whole time. I'm like, what in the world is?
Can we stop the dog barking?
What's this dog's last meal? Little Purina. What are we thinking?
You name it.